Good morning, everyone. We are here to present our study entitled Project This SK, Teaching Home-Based Intervention Strategy for Slightly Delayed Kinder Pupils. I am Camille Catherine B. Macabutas, together with my co-proponents, Aljon V. Gañalongo and Josephine B. Ambrocio. For the context and rationale, the outbreak of the coronavirus disease has caused negative impact in the education system. The country's over-reliance on traditional face-to-face teaching has brought about serious challenges to policymakers who have to decide how learning would proceed in the absence of physical contact between the teacher and the learner. The aim of this study is first to uplift the overall development of slightly delayed kinder pupils by identifying the foundational domains necessary for the pupils' improvement. Second, to come up with the significant findings on the implementation of the home-based intervention program that would address the dilemma that we are facing despite the shift to new normal education during the pandemic. And third, to assess the effectiveness of the home-based intervention strategies. For the methodology, research design. To attain the objectives of the study, researchers used the mixed method. It involved the use of survey, research, and interview. Through descriptive surveys, researchers identified the present condition and prevailing needs, which is to uplift the academic performance of the identified slightly delayed kindergarten pupils. For sampling and sampling techniques, in getting the sample size of the respondents, purposive sampling techniques was used. Based from the BOC-ECD assessment result, 38% of the total population of kinder pupils was found to be slightly delayed in their overall development. A total of 227 out of 585 samples were taken as respondents. For the research procedure, the data gathering procedure in this study were divided into three stages. The first stage is the identification of the foundational domains that the respondents fall under slightly delayed category through documentary analysis. The second stage is the development of the home-based intervention strategies and development of the home-based intervention strategies. For stage 3, finally, is finding the effectiveness of the developed home-based intervention program.
Statistical treatment. The data collected were analyzed and treated systematically using descriptive and inferential statistics. In analyzing the gathered data, the following statistical methods were used. 1. Frequency count and percentile. This was used to analyze the foundational domains that the learners fall under as slightly delayed through documentary analysis. The sources of data were BOC and EOC, ECD assessment results, and as well as a teacher's class record. Second is the use of t-test. The purpose of using t-test as a statistical treatment is to measure the effectiveness of the teaching home-based intervention strategy after it was implemented. This is to determine if there is a significant difference between the means of the pre-test and post-test of the participants that undergo the intervention program. This study aims to answer the following research questions. Number 1, what is the overall developmental level of the identified slightly delayed kinder pupils of San Gabriel II Elementary School based on the BOC-ECD assessment result? Number 2, based on the findings, what intervention strategies may be proposed? Number 3, what is the level of effectiveness of the proposed intervention strategy? To answer the first research question, this is the first research finding. The BOC-ECD result shows that there are 227 or 38% kinder pupils identified as slightly delayed on their overall development. The frequency distribution shows the number of identified slightly delayed per domain, such as gross motor, fine motor, self-help, receptive, expressive, cognitive, socio-emotional skills. To answer the second research question, the researchers recognized the needs of these identified slightly delayed kinder pupils, and the researchers proceed to the development of carefully crafted, well-designed intervention materials, as well as modification of the weekly home intervention plan to address the poor performance in the identified 7 domains. To address and answer the third research question, you can see on the table and graphs that there is an increase in the performance of the identified slightly delayed kinder pupils over time. Using the t-test, we were able to identify that the t-value or computed value of 31.157 is greater than the t-critical values on the 95% confidence interval. Thus, the home-based intervention is highly effective.
Implications. Teaching home-based intervention strategy helped to address the poor performance of the identified slightly delayed kinder pupils during the new normal setting of education. Implementation of home-based intervention strategy for kinder learners classified as slightly delayed. Improve academic performance of the slightly delayed kinder pupils and avoid poor performance in grade 1. Conclusions. Developed home-based intervention strategy focused on the improvement of the foundational domains of kindergarten using modified strategies and activities that can be facilitated at home. There is a significant improvement in the performance of the identified slightly delayed kinder pupils after the successful implementation of the intervention. The modified activities and strategies were found to be highly effective, for it is interpreted to have an increase in pre-test and post-test score in the ECD assessment checklist. For the recommendations, the home-based intervention strategy can be implemented to improve the overall development of the kindergarten. Proper monitoring and evaluation may be done by the kindergarten teachers to achieve its effective implementation. Parallel studies may be conducted with a wider scope in order to maximize the findings and output of this study. And these are the references of our study.